And folks, look, parents, don't second guess yourself. I mean, the kids are being inundated with these social media messages, Hollywood, everybody's promoting this, and I do believe it's to lock them in a path of destruction. And we cannot see this aside from the spiritual nature of this. Let's go back to the basics. God created. Jesus said this in Matthew 19. God made them male and female. That's where we start. God made them male and female. And we cannot see this apart from the spiritual aspect. And the enemy, and I'm not talking about political enemies, I'm not talking about anything other than the spiritual enemy of our soul, will do anything to destroy life. Satan seeks whom he can destroy. And so parents, don't second guess yourself. Lovingly guide your children to the truth. Now, the Biden administration and their allies on the left are creating, I believe, this dangerous make-believe world where children can define their own reality, but it has deadly consequences. There was a 12-year-old girl in North Carolina that was pushed in this direction by policies at her school that encouraged her to embrace her new gender and they kept her parents in the dark in the process. Well, Congresswoman Virginia Foxx of North Carolina is raising a ruckus over this, and rightfully so. But she's not alone. Americans have had enough. Parents, lawmakers, and sane people in general are pushing back. Joining me now to talk about this is FRC Senior Fellow for Education Studies, Meg Kilgannon, who served in the U.S. Department of Education in the Trump administration. Meg, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Tony. Great to be here.
So one of the areas that we see the battle raging, I think, most intently is in the public school classroom. Parents are pushing back, lawmakers are pushing back, and we're seeing what I would describe maybe the early signs of the pendulum swinging.
I think that's exactly right. And there are many, many people, Christians and conservatives, who are answering the call to run for office, run for local office, run for your school board, run for your county executive seat, and try to bring some common sense values to these institutions, which is wonderful. The other thing we're seeing on this is a huge shift of people who normally identify as Democrats saying, I'm never voting Democrat again because of these policies. I'm not voting for Democrats now moving forward because this is crazy and I can't be associated with this kind of crazy policy. So when you have administration officials like Rachel Levine going to a Christian university and making the kind of crazed statements that she made, I can only think that that is going to further our ends better than it will further that transgender ideology agenda.
Well, it was former Democratic Speaker Tip O'Neill, I believe, who said all politics are local. Yes. And nothing is more local than the home. When parents see their kids coming home with this crazy stuff, this nonsense that they are being indoctrinated with. And I think that's why parents are pushing back so intently on this, is because this has struck close to home.
It's really important to realize that this kind of idea gets put into kids' heads in many different ways. And a lot of this is because of a lot of time spent online. But and then they come out to their friends as the opposite sex or gender. And then the first adult who affirms them in this fantasy that they are the opposite sex is usually someone in a school setting, an adult of authority in a school setting. Maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's a counselor, maybe it's a social worker. And then that adult moves the child through the process of social transition through many, many steps before parents are notified or told anything about the situation. And this is an incredibly dangerous turn of events. And you don't have to be a conservative to understand that that is irresponsible. It's disruptive to the family, very dangerous. And we can't have people in charge of children who advocate these kind of ideological positions.
And the good news is parents are responding to this, and we see this happening all across the country.
That's the really good news. Parents are responding to this. They are engaging with their kids and addressing situations in their own homes, and they are taking the additional step. If their household is all set, maybe they feel that they've been called to public service. And so we have lots of resources at frcaction.org/schools to help people who want to consider running for office. And we hope that you'll go to your school board meetings, pay attention to what's going on in the local school system, even if you are a homeschooling family or your kids are out of the house. What happens in your public school matters for the entire community. And we need Christians to be involved.
Without question. Meg Kilgannon, always great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.